Hello everyone, welcome back to Consensus, and let's see if we're able to reach it today. Now, I want to take us all the way back to 2013, roughly a year after the initial release of Mass Effect 3. And the reason I want to do that is because around this time is when speculation started to arise as to what the next Mass Effect game would be. And as we all know now, Mass Effect Andromeda, released in 2017, but was originally scheduled to release in 2016, was the next game in the series that was going to be released. So, with the conclusion of Mass Effect 3 and Shepard's story in 2012, people started to speculate on what the quote-unquote Mass Effect 4 would entail, and when it would be coming out. We know now that this Mass Effect 4 that people were speculating on was, in fact, Mass Effect Andromeda, and that it had next to no connection to the original Mass Effect trilogy with Shepard and his crew. Now, the reason I'm bringing all this up is because back in 2013, prior to anyone having any knowledge as to what the next Mass Effect game is going to be, there were multiple game journalists and news websites writing stories pertaining to what the next Mass Effect game is going to be, this new Mass Effect 4, and whether Shepard was going to be involved in it at all. And I'm actually seeing a lot of similarities now between the speculation that was taking place in the past then with their quote-unquote Mass Effect 4, and the speculation happening now with this new Mass Effect game that is going to be set to release that we are all calling Mass Effect 4 now. So, with the rise of some new information that has come up in the last few days, I wanted to take the time to make this video and go over some of the speculative ideas that have been popping up with regards to the new game and comparing to how that all worked out in the past. A lithograph that was recently for sale on the BioWare store, but is now out of stock, had originally been posted with a very compelling item description, which may have unintentionally leaked some aspects of the new up-and-coming game. The description has since been changed, but it originally read as follows. The show goes on. Shepard's final quest may have ended the threat of the Reapers, but at a great cost, including Earth itself. While Shepard and the survivors are left to pick up the pieces, fans are left wondering what's next. Mass Effect will continue, and with the sneak peek poster we got from the BioWare team as part of the N7 Day 2021, there's a lot to unpack. From countless theories regarding the setting of the new game, to the bewilderment on whether the Geth would make a comeback. Eagle-eyed fans have a lot to make of this Mass Effect Mysteries from the Future lithograph. A Krogan and its 4-member team walk towards a Geth-shaped crater with a ship that resembles the Normandy, with the SFX emblazoned on either side. All this, along with BioWare GM Gary McKay's hints about the at least 5 surprises within the poster, will make this lithograph a great material for study, discussion, and endless pondering. The special pearl gloss finish and high-quality printing ensure that no detail is lost, right to the specks of dust and snow on the mysterious crater. So suit up, hang this lithograph on your wall, and get ready for the next chapter in Mass Effect. Now, this is quite a lot of information for one item description on the BioWare shop, but the things that most notably stand out are the statement that Earth itself was destroyed as a result of the Reaper threat, and that Shepard has survived and is actually left to pick up the pieces. Now, there are a few other details with regards to the Geth crater and the hidden details and the crewmates that are visible on the poster, but I'm sure you'll all agree that the most important part of this description is the statement that Shepard is a survivor. Now, if this description is correct and is to be believed, then this new Mass Effect game is indeed going to have Shepard in it and is likely going to be some form of follow-up from the original trilogy, which is definitely believable when considering that the teaser trailer that was released for the new game seems to pick up after the events of the third Mass Effect game and even includes Liara in it. And once BioWare realized that the description for this lithograph may have actually contained spoilers or leaks for their upcoming game, they completely changed it, but rather than adding a new description or changing the details of it, they simply cut out the majority of the description and left it very bare bones now. There's no mention of the crater whatsoever, and all the details about the future of the Mass Effect world have been completely cut. There was subsequently a post made on Twitter stating that there had been a mistake with the item description, and that it had been since fixed, and that the description had been written by the shop runners and not the game developers. But quite honestly, I find it hard to believe that a mistake this big could be made to the point where they need to completely overhaul the description of an item just because it was a mistake, rather than it actually being a leak. So I'm inclined to believe that this may have actually been a leak and the damage may have already been done. Clearly it was an unintentional leak, but a leak nonetheless. Now, of course, this is purely speculation on my part and many other people's parts. However, I would like to take a moment to look back at how old speculation had transitioned into the future and compare it to what's been going on now, because I think there are some similarities, and it's very interesting to look at what BioWare's stance was back in 2012 and 2013 with regards to a sequel and Shepard, and what their possible stance may be today. There were a lot of articles being written in 2013 with regards to Shepard's future in the Mass Effect universe and what the next Mass Effect game was going to entail. And many of these articles had interviews with BioWare staff members that were very adamant that Shepard would not be appearing again in any of the games in the future, stating that Shepard's story was complete and it was always intended to be a trilogy. Which is all the more reason why this lithograph description is all the more intriguing. Because if it was never intended that Shepard would be continuing on in any of the next games, that BioWare stated time and time again that there was no need to choose a real canon ending because there would be no further sequence in the trilogy, then I find it very hard to believe that one of the BioWare online shop workers could have accidentally written a description for an item that ties so well together with the destruction ending of Mass Effect 3 and is so controversial that BioWare staff have to actually edit and remove the description. It just seems like such a slim chance that something like that could ever be possible. Because if people were talking prior to the release of Mass Effect Andromeda that Shepard wasn't going to be continuing in the series in the future, then there'd be no reason to write that in an item description on the eShop. It would have been common knowledge that Shepard is not continuing in the series, and that there was no set canon ending yet because there was never going to be a follow-up to the trilogy, so all three of the endings were as credible as one another in their own right. Yet this description for this lithograph ties in so perfectly with the destruction ending and sets the stage so well for what the next game holds for us that the BioWare team had to completely scrap the description and make a statement saying that there was a mistake. Now, you can be the judge on what you think the mistake was. If you think the mistake was that they released information that wasn't supposed to be released, or if the mistake was that the information that released was simply not true, because those are the only two aspects to stating that there was a mistake made that we can kind of speculate on. When we really break it down, though, it's not as if this item description is inherently incorrect at first glance either, especially when we compare it to the ending of Mass Effect 3 as well as the teaser trailer that was released for the new Mass Effect game. We can see that this lithograph description does a pretty good job of actually filling in the gaps and giving us an idea on how the next game is going to play out. The destruction ending is the only possible canonical ending in Mass Effect 3 that actually has a sequence of Shepard surviving. That last little breath that he takes in the rubble is only seen at the end of the destruction ending, and people can say whatever they want about that. However, it's fairly clear that that is supposed to signify that Shepard has survived. And when we couple that scene from Mass Effect 3 with the cinematics in the new teaser trailer, which clearly show destroyed relays and dead Reapers. I think it's more than safe to assume that the item description may have actually been correct, and that Shepard is indeed going to be coming back. Not to mention that in the teaser, Liara is also seen picking up what appears to be a piece of an N7 helmet off of the ground. And in the background, we see 3 other people, which also seems to link back to the poster stating that there is a Krogan with his, or its rather, 4-member team. I've actually taken a sample of the lithograph. We can try to get an up-close look at what the alleged Krogan may be, or who the alleged Krogan may be. And I realize how difficult it can be to actually try to break down who or what a character may be simply based on some very lightly detailed pixels on a poster. But bear with me here, I'll put it up on the screen. And I want you guys to kind of help me figure this one out, because to me, it looks like it's going to be Rex. We know that Rex has traditionally worn red battle armor, which is a very bright color and generally very hard to miss. And to me, even though these pixels are super washed out and very low resolution, especially because I have enlarged it so much, it still looks like we could potentially be looking at a Krogan in red battle armor. So that's all I have for you today. I was very intrigued by this lithograph description, and I think it's super interesting to kind of compare how speculation went in the past prior to Andromeda with regards to Mass Effect 4, and our speculation now that we're having post-Andromeda with Mass Effect 4. Let me know what you guys think about this mistake, this quote-unquote mistake on the lithograph description, and if you guys think Shepard's going to be coming back in the next game. If you've made it this far in the video, I'm sure you know my stance on it. I think it's relatively clear that Shepard will indeed be coming back, as that was one of my main points of speculation when the initial teaser was dropped in the first place. I think that the destruction ending is now almost undeniably canon or canonical from the last Mass Effect game. But that aside, I think we'll have to see when this game comes out if that's the case or not. But I hope I've done a decent job at breaking down my thought process here and showing you all how I've made the connections between the lithograph, the ending of Mass Effect 3, the teaser trailer for the new Mass Effect game, and hopefully bringing it all together so you guys can see that the destruction ending does seem to be like the ending that BioWare is going to be going forward with. All in all, though, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I'll see if I can get any more videos out in the future for you. But until that time, I hope you all take it easy. See ya.